Let's see how we can change the preferences. This is going to allow us to tweak some things about the document and about the general Grasshopper interface. We can find this by going File, Preferences, Control-Shift-P, or by right-clicking on the canvas. The first tab is an Author tab. We can add our name, our company, different things like that. In the display area, we can tweak how values and numbers are displayed, how many decimals after a particular value. The fonts allows us to change the fonts in different areas of Grasshopper. Here in the interface, we have a couple of interesting options. For example, here, the context menu check. If I right-click now, in the center of a component, I get the preview enabled in Bake. But if I say Show Parameter Submenus, now when I right-click, I also get all of the input and all of the output context menus. That's pretty handy, so I'm going to keep that on. Here in the ribbon, we have, for example, Show Tab Icons. And what that's going to do is going to change the text to icons up here. That can be a little cleaner for some people. For now, I'm going to turn that off. You can also add your own shortcuts. Here in the palette, you can change the colors of how Grasshopper components look under different states. I'm going to keep this the same. In Viewport, you can do some customizing of the colors. And really, this is the one thing that'll make your definitions look unique, because you're probably working with normal being red and selected being green. That's how Grasshopper comes by default. After seeing Grasshopper like this for so many years, I decided maybe it's time to change those colors. And you can too. It's pretty easy. Let's right-click on normal, and we can switch around what color that's going to be. I'm just going to switch to something other than the color I have. I can switch the opacity, and I'll also change the selected, maybe to something like that. Now this is the default template, meaning that when I create a new Grasshopper document, the preview is going to be selected like this, greenish. When I don't have anything selected, it'll just be this blue. The document that I have now currently is gray when I don't have anything selected, or pink when I do. If you want to apply these colors to the current document, you can just click and drag them down. I have to say, I'm not too fond of those colors. If you like them, that's great. I'm going to go back to the ones that I had before. I'm going to right click here. I'll pick a kind of a grayish for unselected, and I'll pick magenta for selected. I'll have to switch here color spaces and go to magenta. And I also want this document to have that. So I'll drag it down. Okay, back to my settings. Please feel free to choose any color you like here. Here we have a tab to go through the widgets. The widgets are these elements that I've been talking about. Autosaving, very important. Grasshopper will not autosave your definition if it hasn't been saved. You have to save it first, then it'll start autosaving. It'll autosave on a lot of different events. So for example, by default, it's on when we connect a new wire, when we change an object, or eventually when we unload a document. You can also set it to save when you add an object to the canvas or you delete an object. I'm going to leave that there. Finally, there's some things dealing with the solver. If we load third-party libraries that are problematic, we can lock them here and they won't load. We can also delete them. Anyhow, there's all sorts of things that we can do. I encourage you to go to the Viewport tab and change the colors to something that makes you feel good and is custom to you.